All right, hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yep, just wanted to get on here and kind of introduce myself for the first video on the YouTube channel. So I just want to just rant. I mean, not to make it complicated. I just want to rant about anything, right? From sports to food, to politics. I really want to just kind of take aim at like mainstream anchors, such as like Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Like those guys are just all clowns, and I think a lot of their takes are, they're just mainstream. Dallas Cowboys and LeBron James, and that's all it is. And it's super frustrating that you have to listen to just the teams that they like, or the teams that are just in mainstream media. The Giants, the Jets, the whole NFC East. It's terrible. So I just want to take their takes and just kind of get opinions, and I want to be opinionated. First Amendment absolutist, right? You can hear it, you can like it, you can not like it. Don't really care. It's my opinion. Your opinion will be respected. And if you see something or hear something that you want to rant about, just drop it in the comments. It's going to be all unedited, just raw. Just hey, this is what it is. I think it's actually a good look. There's not a lot of things that are just raw. Not to mention that editing software is it can be difficult to learn, but we'll leave that at that. But yeah, so the first one that I want to kind of take aim at is Colin Cowherd, right? He's great. I've watched him when he was back on ESPN. I've watched him while he's been on FS1. I saw all his co-anchors go through his studio. He's a great analyst first and foremost, but he does this segment called it's called the herd hierarchy. Right, so I guess this is where he takes like top 10 teams or top 10 whatever, and he kind of ranks them for whatever reasons, right? So he kind of came out with this hierarchy for 2024-25 NFL season, and to tell you the truth, I really don't agree with it. I think that a lot of it is biasness because he is in LA, and he's taken on that California sunshine. But I think it's bogus, and I'm going to kind of go through the herd hierarchy, and with free agency in full swing, just kind of touch on some points that these teams have made key additions, maybe that made Cowherd put him on his hierarchy. I don't know. There's also some losses that these teams have taken, and I mean, we'll see based on their records last year and this year moving forward. I think there's a couple of teams that should definitely be on the hierarchy. So at the end of it, I added my hierarchy, and I'm sure Colin probably won't agree. And but oh well, hey, that's why we have the First Amendment of freedom of speech, right? Don't like it, cool, not a big deal. So without further ado, we're kind of going to go over this hierarchy. I'm gonna give what his hierarchy was, and then I'll kind of break down each team and some acquisitions. So coming in at number one, he's got the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, Super Bowl champs, right? Super Bowl champs deserve to be number one, even though you had a legal man downfield in the last play of the Super Bowl. But we won't cover that. The refs called a good game. Never called a hold on Kansas City for the last three Super Bowls. But nobody's keeping track of that. But Kansas City number one. Number two, San Francisco 49ers. I'm not going to play homer or biasness. The two's pretty solid. Even with the release of Eric Armstead, we John Lynch kind of forgot this free agency that there's supposed to be an offensive side of the ball, so he's beefed up the defense. Notably with Leonard Floyd coming over from Buffalo, losing Armstead and Chase Young to New Orleans, and Armstead to Jacksonville. Number three, Detroit. That's a young team. Got to first learn to lose before you can win, and they took a nasty loss in the NFC Championship game. But hey, Dan Campbell's got those boys playing great. Four is Green Bay, another young team. Yeah, they kind of went toe to toe with the Niners in the NFC divisional game. Another one that they have to learn to lose, and it was a heartbreaker for Green Bay because after what they did and by going into Dallas and manhandling them when nobody gave them a shot. 5 is Philly. Don't know where this came from. Not really a whole lot to say on Philly. I'll get to it when we talk each team breaking down on the hierarchy. 6 is Baltimore. 7 Cleveland. 8 is Buffalo. 9 is the Rams, and 10 is the Minnesota Vikings. So that's Colin's hierarchy, top 10 going into the 2024-25 season. So yeah, I'm kind of just going to go through and in reverse order and kind of talk about some key additions to each team. So for the Vikings, they added Aaron Jones, right? Division foe, came from Green Bay. Beast of a running back. Had a couple of health issues, couldn't stay healthy. But they also lost Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. And they try to replace Kirk Cousins, who's a pretty solid top 10 quarterback, I would say, on the higher end of the top 10, 8 or 9 in the league. He give you 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns every year. Trying to replace him with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, really? And you make the hierarchy at number 10. I just don't see Sam Darnold being a viable replacement for Kirk Cousins. And if the Vikings organization is kind of bagging on Sam Darnold being their savior, they should fall way out of this probably by week 2 or week 3. The Rams. So this is that California sunshine and being in LA. I mean, their key addition was Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Love Jimmy G. He's a winner. He's a winner in the Shanahan system. He hasn't been successful since he left the Niners. He was quite successful with the Niners, but Shanahan kind of put a leash on him. I don't know if McVay, will take the leash off if Matt Stafford gets hurt, but Matt Stafford getting hurt, that's a probability. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo he's gonna get some time, and he knows the NFC West. He played with the NFC West for 5 years. I just think he got tired of getting chased around in the AFC West and having to play Kansas City twice a year. So Buffalo, their key acquisition is safety Mike Edwards from Jacksonville. Buffalo's always that team that is they're always in the mix as long as you got Josh Allen and Steph Diggs. They're always going to be in the mix. I think they should have been a little higher on this list, but those were the key acquisitions for Buffalo. So Cleveland's interesting. They add Jameis Winston, the guy who stole crab legs when he was in college, but he's probably moved on from that and has grown up. But this is also the same guy that just wants to not listen to his head coach and run a play when he should be kneeling the ball down in victory formation. And they added Tyler Huntley from Baltimore. So I guess Cleveland's going to try to have a quarterback battle between these two to kind of replace Joe Flacco. Cleveland's always been one of those teams that just has quarterback issues. Like they cannot figure it out. I mean, they're stacked at every other position, but the quarterback issue, which is the most important position on the field, they can't figure it out. So the next team, Philly. So Philly added Saquon Barkley. Great, you added Saquon. You didn't need a running back. You needed linebackers. You needed cornerbacks. Just like Debo said, Bradbury, garbage. Linebacker play, garbage. So they didn't even address their needs. So how they are in this top 10 makes no sense to me. But we'll see how it plays out. Next team, Green Bay. So Green Bay got rid of Aaron Jones and they add a beast of a running back, Josh Jacobs, coming over from the Raiders. He wants to play some NFC football. The only thing is it's a little different. Home in the Dome in Vegas and going up to the frozen tundra in Green Bay. It gets cold up there. I think he's going to be a good addition. He's going to help out Jordan Love, kind of keep him calm. And he's a workhorse. So Detroit, the young, hot and upcoming team, they added Peoples-Jones to go with their already potent wide receiver core. I think that's a good look for them, and Dan Campbell's just going to keep them playing, and they're going to keep going. So Kansas City or San Francisco is next on the list. So we lose Chase Young. we lose Eric Armstead, and we bring in Leonard Floyd and Chase Lucas to kind of shore up the defensive line and the back end of the defense at the cornerback position. Johnny Lynch, he's a Hall of Fame safety. He loves defense, right? He loves defense, and that's who the Niners, they always target the defensive line, the back end. Back end's going to be a lot better with Travarius Ward and Hufanga when he gets back from his ACL. So those are key acquisitions. In Kansas City, they just kind of kept the nucleus together. A couple people taking, signing Jones. That was big. I would kind of just, those are just some of the acquisitions these teams made that are in the hierarchy that made some free agent moves. I don't think it moves anybody in up or down, but it does move some people out, and I did add a few teams in. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you my hierarchy. And again, non-biased, like a diehard Niner fan here, but non-biased, right? Kansas City's the champs. You want to beat the champs? You want to be the champ? You got to beat the champs, right? So I got Kansas City as number 1, San Francisco number 2. So here's where it starts to get a little different, right? Instead of having Detroit at 3, I firmly believe when you add King Henry to that Baltimore offense with Lamar Jackson, they got to be the third team on that list. So I got Baltimore at 3, and then Buffalo's going to be at 4. Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, you're never out of it, right? I know they're working through their issues, but you're never out of it with them. So I got them at 4. And then I can start adding the younger teams, right? So I think the best of the younger teams is Detroit. So I got Detroit at 5. Green Bay, with the acquisition of Josh Jacobs, I got them at 6. So now here's where some teams that Colin didn't put in the hierarchy that I have added and removed some teams. So I got the Texans. The Texans at 7. What they're doing down there in Texas is just amazing. Those boys are flying around. They're playing good. They made it all the way to the divisional round with a rookie quarterback. It's good. D'Amico Ryans is another one that's got them playing good, and he was my nod for Coach of the Year. He's definitely come off the Shanahan tree and has done Shanahan proud. Cincinnati, right? Again, Joe Burrow, you can't count him out. I know that they're losing a few people, lost Mixon, all that stuff is running game, but Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow, right? He's like, they're calling him, he's the second coming of Joe Cool, right? So you got to put Joe Burrow on there. I know he had some injuries last year, but Joe Burrow's a proven commodity, and you got to give him that respect. So here's one that's going to be a little controversial, but the Jets, right? You got Aaron, one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks to ever live, right? You got Sauce Gardner on the defense. You got Breece Hall running the ball. You got all these weapons all over the place. They got to stay healthy, right? If they stay healthy and they could put it together, who knows? I think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned in the AFC East. They'll have to deal with Buffalo and they'll have to deal with Miami, but I think that division is going to end up being one of the tougher divisions come next year. And number 10, I'm at to round it up to the Chargers, right? Anytime you bring Jim Harbaugh into the equation, it's instant success. And you take it from me, I've seen Harbaugh be successful at Stanford. I've seen Harbaugh be successful with the Niners. I've seen Harbaugh be successful at Michigan. He's going to bring instant success and relevance back to the LA Chargers. So that's my my list. I removed the Rams, the Vikes, and then Cleveland and Philly. Don't think that they have any reason to be there at all. So, Colin, here I think your hierarchy is busted, my friend. And please, if you disagree, write in the comments. Tell me what you think it should be. We can have a discussion about it. But that's definitely I think is a solid hierarchy to start. Start the season. So, hey, it's been great talking. Like, subscribe, and I'll try to get on here once a week, talk some trash, rant about anything. No feelings get hurt, none of that. And leave a comment if there's something that you want to rant about. Just let me know. This was exciting. It was fun. You just kind of put yourself out there, talk some trash, and have a good day. So, all right, thanks very much. Have a wonderful day.